Okay, hello everyone. So today we are going to begin the discussion of SE Question Paper 2080 of Madhesh province. So let us begin the discussion from MCQ. So in today's discussion, we are going to complete the solution for Group A and Group B questions. So this session is going to be a bilingual. Okay, let us begin from question number 1A. So in which class does the pigeon lie? Okay, it's a quite simple question. So you already have studied about the different classes of vertebrates. So obviously, it's a kind of bird. Okay, so obviously the pigeon will be classified in the class of the aves. Okay, त्यसै गरी pulmonary artery के गर्छ? Okay, artery, you know well. Artery means away from heart. Okay, so artery does the work of bringing blood away from the heart. That means uh, the pulmonary artery should carry the blood away from the heart. That means away from the heart means obviously towards the lungs. So carries the oxygenated blood. Carries the deoxygenated blood from lungs oxygenated हुन्छ. So carries oxygenated blood from heart to lungs. Okay, heartबाट lungs त लाने कुरै भएन. Okay, so carries the deoxygenated blood from heart to lung. Okay, so this carries the blood away. Pulmonary artery will carry the blood away from the heart. Okay, let us move on to third one. So रातो फुल फुल्ने र सेतो फुल फुल्ने बोटको बीच परागसेचन गराउँदा पहिलो वंशमा सबै रातो फुल फुल्ने गुण यो कस्तो गुण हो? रातो गुण कस्तो गुण हो? सो हामीले फर्स्ट ल पढेको छ है, फर्स्ट ल अफ Mendel. It simply suggests that if we make a cross between two pure organism, then whichever the trait will be expressed phenotypically. बाहिरबाट जुन ट्रेट देखिन्छ त्यो ट्रेट चाहिँ डोमिनेन्ट ट्रेट हो भनेर हामीले पढेको छौँ भने obviously यसको आन्सर हुन जान्छ डोमिनेन्ट, किनभने फर्स्ट जेनेरेसनमा रिसेसिभ क्यारेक्टर देखिँदैन. फेनोटाइपिक मिन्स बाहिर देखिने गुण हो, जिनोटाइपिक गुण मिन्स यो जिनेटाइप जिनमा रहेको क्यारेक्टरलाई हामीले यहाँ राखेको छौँ. त्यसैले obviously यसको सिम्पल आन्सर is going to be a dominant character. Okay, let us move on to another. So to measure the pressure of the fluid, we use P equal to SdG. What does H stands for and what change occur in P when H increases? Okay, H को मान बढ्ने हो भने P को मान सिधै बढ्छ because they are directly proportional. Okay, P equal to SdG. If we keep density and gravity constant, then P is proportional to H. बढ्छ, P बढ्दा हाइट बढ्दा P बढ्छ. अब बढ्छ मध्ये दुईटा छ, P बढ्छ, P बढ्छ. We have two options. So H ले चाहिँ के डिनोट गर्छ त? एक्चुअली H ले चाहिँ यो डेप्थ डिनोट गर्छ. यहाँदेखि यहाँसम्म डेप्थ भनेको गहिराई. ओके, एक्चुअली गहिराई नाप्ने हो, त्यसैले यसले गहिराई र P, गहिराई H stands for गहिराई र P चाहिँ बढ्छ. Okay, let us move on to another one. So here पानी, अल्कोहल, बालुवा विशिष्ट ताप धारण क्षमता दिएको छ. Okay, specific capacity of the water, alcohol, sand and mercury are given. So based on this, what we have to figure out is if all of them are put, they have same mass and temperature and they are kept 2 hours in the sun, which of them will have the highest temperature? Okay, so this is a very crucial type of question. So you just need to remember the idea of the variation of change in temperature with specific heat capacity. You know, Q equals to ms dt, and what the question is saying is initial mass is fixed and initial temperature initial temperature is same, and at that time the variation of these two amount of heat supplied by the sun is constant. Okay, so Q is constant, mass is constant, we have to figure out the relation between this S and dt. Okay, S and dt, so you can just simply figure out the constant. Q by M is constant, so you can just bring this dt down and it will remain as S. And if you just use Q by M as a constant parameter, then dt is inversely proportional to S, or S is inversely proportional to dt. So just specific capacity थोरै छ, त्यसको temperature ज्यादा छ. Specific capacity of alcohol is the least of these all. Okay, alcohol को सबैभन्दा कम छ 138. That's why which will have high temperature. High temperature means if it is very high, it has to be very less. That's why obviously the answer is going to be uh, alcohol. Okay, so let us move on to the next one. So we have another question from power of the electric device, that is 750 watt is written and it is being run by 220 volt, and you are much familiar with the power of electrical power equal to P equal to V. P equal to V. Okay, so this is your 750 and V is 220 into I. Okay, so if you just divide 750 divided by 220, it is slightly greater than 3 but less than 4. Okay, so this comes around 3 point something, then the simplest answer is in here. Okay, so another is जेनेरेटरमा उत्पादित इएमएफ को भ्याल्यु बढाउने. इएमएफ बढाउने त्यहाँ सेभरल वेज छन् है. डिस्टेन्स नजिक गर्ने, नम्बर अफ टर्न्स बढाउने, म्याग्नेटको पावर बढाउने, so थुप्रै छ. लेट अस सी हियर which of the option is given. Length of the magnet यसले असर गर्दैन है. डिस्टेन्स whether it is closer or not that matters, but distance the length of the magnet doesn't matter. Coil र चुम्बकको दूरी बढायो भने it doesn't work, it is actually opposite. Okay, नजिक बनाउनु पर्छ. चुम्बकको चुम्बकीय क्षेत्र बढाएर चुम्बकीय क्षेत्र इन्क्रिज म्याग्नेटिक स्ट्रेन्थ बढाउन सकिन्छ, म्याग्नेटलाई पावरफुल बनाउन सकिन्छ. स्पिड घटायो भने हुँदैन. द्याट्स वाइ द आन्सर इज हियर. ओके, दिस इज भेरी ट्रिकी टाइप अफ क्वेसन फ्रम ICT. A ले के डिनोट गर्छ? What actually is this A? And we have a very important hint in here. So something is coming in between, there is modulator and then something is going out. केही आइरहेछ, यहाँ मोडुलेटर छ र केही गइरहेछ र त्यहाँ सपोर्ट गर्ने अर्को छ. हामीलाई थाहा छ हामी एउटा सिग्नल पठाउँछौँ, यहाँ मोडुलेटर राख्छौँ र यसले आउटपुट सिग्नल दिन्छ भने यहाँनिर सँगै यो जुन इनपुट सिग्नल हुन्छ त्यो इनपुट सिग्नललाई क्यारी गर्ने एउटा सिग्नल चाहिन्छ है. सो क्यारी गर्ने सिग्नल र इनपुट सिग्नल दुईटा एक अर्कोमा के हुन्छन्, इन्ट्याङ्गल्ड हुन्छन्. भनेको यो इनपुट सिग्नल आफै टाढासम्म ट्राभल गर्न नसक्ने हुन्छ या चाहिँ एटिन्युएट हुने हुन्छ, लस हुने हुन्छ. त्यस्तो बेलामा हामी के गर्छौँ भने यो बोक्ने सिग्नल. सो मानौ भोइस छ भने भोइसलाई चाहिँ यो माथि राखिदिने. ओके, यो माथि भोइस राखिदिने अनि भोइस सिग्नल चाहिँ यो क्यारियर सिग्नलले क्यारी गरेर लान्छ. सो एक्चुअली मोडुलेटरको काम चाहिँ ओरिजिनल सिग्नल टाढासम्म पुग्न सक्दैन भने अर्को सपोर्टिङ सिग्नलमा लगेर राखिदिने, सपोर्टिङ सिग्नलसँग जोड्ने काम चाहिँ मोडुलेटरले गर्छ. द्याट्स वाइ this A must be carrier signal. Okay, so now we will be seeing the remaining question in the second part of this frame. Let us move on to that. Okay, so let me just see the question from the first frame. Okay, 4 जना विद्यार्थीलाई नयाँ बनाइएको थर्मोमिटरको माथिल्लो अचल बिन्दु, okay, upper fixed point is to be calculated, and the 4 student did the following activities, and which of the student is correct. Okay, so we have to figure out upper fixed point. Upper fixed point भनेको त्यस्तो टेम्परेचर जुनमा चाहिँ given atmospheric pressure मा water vapor डेभलप हुन्छ है, त्यस्तोलाई चाहिँ हामी upper fixed point भन्छौँ. So the bulb of the thermometer is immerse गर्न पाइदैन, because we are going to get the upper fixed point as the temperature of vapor. Okay, not the boiling water, temperature of vapor. Okay, so vapor यो हुने कुरा भएन. Okay, similarly the second one is the bulb of the thermometer is just as the water touch गर्ने हुँदैन, हामी actually vapor को temperature राख्छौँ. This is also incorrect. So the bulb of the thermometer was kept close to the cork. Cork मा कति नजिक कति टाढा राखेको छ, cork सँग हाम्रो लिनु दिने केही पनि छैन. That's why let us look at the first option. The bulb of the thermometer just kept. Okay, suppose this is something bigger or something and it is producing vapor, so we have to put the bulb of thermometer in here, so that the actual temperature of this vapor will be measured by this thermometer. That's why the correct answer is going to be so simple. This is your D. Okay, now magnesium is treated with nitrogen. So, magnesium with valency 2, nitrogen is valency 3. So it is going to give Mg3N2. So just we need to look at this one. Mg3N2. Mg3N2 is here. Okay, but whether it is balanced or not, we have to check. Okay, so Mg3, there are 3 Mg and there are N2. Nitrogen will be in the gaseous form. यो gaseous form मा छैन, यो यतिकै incorrect हो. Okay, so यहाँनेरि valency मिलेको छैन, यहाँनेरि हो मिलेको छैन, valency मिलेको छैन. That's why the correct answer is going to be, okay, the second one. So the answer is here, the second one. Okay, let me just use another column so that we can figure out. This is the answer. Now let us move on to MCQ. Shortly we are going to look at these questions. Okay, so short questions here. So DNA you just it's based on knowledge. This question is properly based on knowledge. Deoxyribonucleic acid, quite simple. Deoxyribonucleic acid. Okay, this is how you have to remember. Okay, this is deoxyribonucleic acid is the full form of DNA. Next, Pascal law. Pascal law is so simple. If some container is containing incompressible liquid, and if somebody will give pressure from one side, then this pressure will be transmitted equally in all direction perpendicularly. The magnitude will be same. So let's say the magnitude is here x, then this output also is x here, x here, x here. So if external pressure is given in an incompressible liquid container, then the pressure will be transmitted equally in all directions. That is what's actually statement of this Pascal's law. Okay, next is chlamydomonas. So this is the simplest type of question. Again, in planetary kingdom, there are 3 divisions, and the first division is collecting all the organism of least development. Okay, so chlamydomonas is one of the least developed plant. So that is classified under the class of algae. Okay, so this is algae. Okay, यदि कुनै व्यक्तिलाई हेमोफिलिया is a kind of disease in which the blood won't clot properly. So normal मान्छेको blood सजिलै clot हुन्छ, कुनै काटेको ठाउँ घाउ भएको ठाउँबाट सजिलै रोकिन्छ भने हेमोफिलिया भएको पेसेन्टहरुको चाहिँ ब्लड रोकिदैन। र हामीलाई थाहा छ ब्लड क्लट गर्नको लागि सबभन्दा पावरफुल blood cell is platelets. That's why the number of platelets is decreased. असन्तुलितमा पनि actually decrease भएको हुन्छ, least भएको हुन्छ, घटेको हुन्छ. Fine. Okay. So jackal is considered as a secondary consumer. So well, primary consumer will feed on producer. Okay, producer, first consumer, second consumer, third consumer. This is what we call primary consumer, secondary consumer, tertiary consumer. So this is okay. The jackal is considered as a secondary consumer. So jackal feed on animals. So this is producer. So this is grass eating animal. Okay, and for example, let's say goat. Okay, the goat will feed on producer, and jackal will feed on goat. That's why it is secondary consumer. So, or what you can simply say is, jackal feeds on primary consumer. That's why it is secondary consumer, or it is carnivorous, first carnivorous, a low carnivorous organism. That's why it is secondary consumer. Okay. प्रकाशको एउटा माध्यमबाट अर्को माध्यममा जाँदा बढी कोण बनाएर आवर्तित हुन्छ. दिस इज सो इन्ट्रेस्टिङ क्वेसन. सो एउटा कुरा के हामीले बिर्स्यौं भने, बिर्सनु हुँदैन भने, लाइटले बनाउने एंगल यसको स्पीडसँग डाइरेक्टली रिलेसन राख्छ. ओके, सो सपोज दिस इज थीटा, and if it is going away, is making an angle theta 2. theta 2 is bigger than theta 1. यहाँ velocity के हुन्छ, यहाँ velocity high हुन्छ है. Velocity र theta को relation directly proportional हुन्छ. So here velocity is less. So here velocity is more. So if it is making a larger angle, then it must be a rarer medium. So this one is denser medium. So this is how you have to justify. Okay. So जुन माध्यममा velocity ज्यादा हुन्छ त्यो माध्यममा लाइटले बनाउने नर्मलसँग बनाउने एंगल पनि ज्यादा हुन्छ. त्यसैले त्यस्तो मिडियम जसमा एंगल ज्यादा हुन्छ त्यसलाई रेयर मिडियम भनिन्छ किनभने velocity ज्यादा हुन्छ. Okay, move on to next. Pascal is derived unit. Okay, you have to do a small job for this one. So Pascal is the unit of pressure, and pressure is simply pressure is force by area, and your force is kg meter per second square, and area is meter square. So your pressure will be kg per meter per second square. So Pascal will depend upon kg, meter, and second. That's why it is derived. Okay, let us move on to next. Which formula will you use to find the height of the from the earth surface from where the stone is dropped down, and time taken by the stone to reach the ground is known? Okay, so simple. You already have done this kind of simple problem. So it is a Newtonian dynamics. So it is as equal to ut plus 1 by 2 gt square, and actually if it is dropped, and then initial velocity is 0, so your formula is going to be gt square with half. So g will be known and time will be known, so you can easily calculate as. So you can simply write down this formula. Okay, let's see the last one. This is okay, what will you do to increase the magnetic flux without changing the magnetic field of the bar? Okay, flux भनेको simply के हो भने flux is the number of lines of force crossing per unit area. Okay, so 1 meter square area मा कति धेरै फ्लक्सहरु पास गर्छ. मानौ यो कोइल को एरिया 1 meter square छ, यहाँ नजिकै राख्दा यसरी 2-4 वटा मात्रै पास भएको छ. यही कोइललाई मैले यहाँनिर लगेँ without changing area. You can see lots of lines of force are crossing through. अझै यहाँ लाने भन्दा अझै धेरै हुन्छ है. So what we can simply do is if we just bring the coil closer to the magnetic pole, then the flux will be increased. Okay, simply we need to bring the coil closer, or alternatively we can bring the magnet closer to the coil. Okay, this is how we can increase the flux. Okay, this is the end of the first portion. So in the second portion we will be discussing about group C and so on. Okay, thank you all. Keep tuning us.